A very good morning here from Makassar Airport railing station. I'm waiting for my train to the airport, and today I have a very exciting flight. It's a very unique airline. It's the Sky Angkor Airlines. It's a Cambodian airline, and they are a very small airline actually. They were founded in 2010. They started operation in 2011, and then basically they have I think 7 fleets or 6 fleets in their airline. Most of them are 320-200. There is a 320 Neo, and then there's a 321. So today I believe I'm going to be flying on the 320-200, but I'm not 100% sure. And I don't know a whole lot about this airline. Even just like the website is not very well designed. I couldn't like do any seat selection or that sort of thing. I just make my payment and that's about it. So I'm excited to find out what they are all about, what they are offering in terms of the hard product, the service. But it's a very short flight of about 1 hour, so I'm not expecting there to be a lot of services. There might be like some drinks or drink service for the flight, but I don't think there's going to be like food or anything like that. So let's head over to the airport and get checked in and find out what Sky Angkor Airlines is all about. Alright, I've just gone through customs and immigration, and I went to the boarding gate. It's actually not that far away, so I have a look, and there wasn't a lot of seating available, so I decided to come back up here to where the restaurants are, and I'm in one of these kind of like it's not like a food court, but it's like a few restaurants. They operate in this like kind of space. And I've ordered a fried rice. So that's going to be my breakfast. I'm a little bit hungry anyway, so I'll have some fried rice before the flight. And then I've got a couple of snacks with me as well. Yesterday I bought this raisin bread thingy from 7-Eleven, and I've got a can of Pringles as well. So that's going to be my in-flight snacks, since it's a very short flight anyway. So that's kind of just the update. And when I was there, the aircraft hasn't arrived yet, so but it should be arriving anytime soon. And we still have about an hour and 10 minutes before departure. So we still have a little bit of time. So I'll just like have my fried rice and then head over to the gate. Okay, that is super weird. It says final call, and we still have like 40 minutes to go. So I don't know why the final boarding is that early, but I'm glad that I got here a little bit early. Otherwise, I might even miss the flight if they close the gate like half an hour before the flight, which is a little bit crazy. But anyway, I think I'm here. They're just checking the passport, so I'm gonna talk to you when I'm on board. Can you stay a little bit? Okay, I feel like I need to address this before we move on. So what happened here was I was queuing, as you can see, to go to my seat right at the back. And this guy that was standing behind me have been pushing me since we boarded, and I was running out of patience. So I basically pushed back, and then I turned around and I was trying to say, can you keep your distance? Because I was getting so sick of him just keep pushing me. I mean, what's the point? You're not going to get to your seat any faster by pushing people. So I don't get like what's the mentality or the logic behind that. Like, can't you just, be a bit civilized and keep your distance? Everyone will get to their seat. There's no reason to push. There's no reason to do any of those things. And this happened during check-in as well. I just kept getting pushed by this guy standing behind me, and it's the exact same thing. And on this case, I was running out of my patience, and yeah, I had to kind of push back, and I was like, can you just keep your distance? Because it's like really annoying, and I am the kind of person that enjoys a bit of personal space, so I don't like people invading my space. And yeah, it's really kind of getting on my nerve that people are doing that. So I mean, that's just something that I want to address before I move on. 38. Alrighty everyone, welcome on board the Sky Angkor Airlines Airbus A320. First thing I've noted about the crew is they are not like super friendly. I mean, like, they are not like rude or anything, but there's like no kind of like warmness to their like services. And then as you board, the first 7 rows are actually paid seats, so you can't actually they might be able to assign you for that seat, but usually if you want it, you have to pay extra for it, and that includes the exit row as well. I got assigned to 30A, which is the very last row of the left side, and as you can see, I'm missing a window, so yeah, that sucks, but we'll just have to deal with it. But first thing to note is there's like a sticker here. I'm not sure what that is about, but there's an emergency door instruction. I don't know why they have it here. I don't have a door, so I don't think this is too useful for me. And then there's a tiny tray table over here. It's not the cleanest thing, but it's not like dirty. There's just like marks on some parts of the tray table. And then over here we have the storage for the reading material. And then we have like a small little pouch over here the legroom is pretty good. I can fit like, yeah, my whole hand over here. So, I mean, legroom wise, it's decent. And I don't know whether this is like a advertisement, but there's the Aruna natural water thing. But yeah, other than that, I don't find a reclining button. I'm not too sure whether it's only because of this row, or maybe this aircraft doesn't recline at all. I mean, like the seats on this aircraft. But at least on the last row, as you can see, there is like no buttons for the reclining. But at least it's a very short flight, so I don't really mind. Anyway, yeah, I just also want to talk a little bit about the boarding, because they were doing a final call about 35 minutes, 40 minutes before the flight, which is like really early. And that's kind of unusual because boarding usually starts about half an hour before. Given that this is a very small aircraft, that is definitely more than enough room, enough time for like boarding. So I don't know why we are boarding that quickly, or that early. Maybe we might depart early, I don't know, but we'll see. And yeah, there's not a lot of locker space as well. The front seems to be okay, but at the back here, because most of the people are already boarded, so I have to try to like squeeze my back into the locker. So that's another thing about boarding a bit late. Yeah. Anyway, we'll wait for the rest of the passengers to finish boarding, and then they should be able to get out of here relatively quickly. Alrighty, I am here in Phnom Penh, my hotel. Just to summarize the first leg of Sky Angkor, I will start with the check-in. Check-in was okay. I mean, there was a line. It was moving pretty quickly, so I'm not really complaining about that. The ground staff was okay. They weren't, like rude or anything, but there was definitely a lack of warmness to their conversation. And then also during queuing up on check-in, there was a guy who was standing really, really close to me, and it was getting quite uncomfortable. Now, to the boarding, I don't know why they boarded so early, because usually airline starts boarding at like half an hour before the flight. They started boarding at like 45 minutes before the flight, and then we started pushing back at like half an hour before the departure. So, I mean, if I didn't go to the gate early, I might have been left alone in the airport. Like, there was not going to be any announcement because there were so many flights going in and out of Bangkok. Like, it's impossible to keep track, And secondly, when I was boarding the aircraft, inside the aircraft, just in the aisle waiting for people to put their bags and get out of the way. And there was another guy standing so close to me, and this guy is like literally so close that he kept pushing my back like over and over and over. And by the time I got to the middle of the plane, I was sick of it. So I just turned around and I said, "Can you back off a little bit?" Because I was getting really sick of people standing so freaking close to me. And just, I don't know why, because you're not going to get anywhere fast by being that close, bumping into, pushing into people. You're not going to speed up the process, so stay away from me. Don't keep pushing me. You're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere fast. So keep the distance and give me some space, right? I don't know why people do that. It's very weird, but okay. After settling down on my windowless window seat, I don't know what's with my luck, but I keep getting assigned to windowless window seat. First time on, well, maybe not my first, but that's what I remember the most. But my first time on Bamboo Airways in Vietnam, flying from, was it Hanoi to Melbourne or Ho Chi Minh to Melbourne? I think it was Hanoi to Melbourne. Yeah, I was assigned to a windowless window seat. It was annoying. And then after that, I think there was another 1 or 2 flights, same thing again. Windowless window seat, like, I don't know why they keep assigning me to that. Like, I want a window seat. I don't want a windowless window seat. I think they need to like have a, you know, like a separate kind of description to a window seat, because I didn't get a window seat. I got a windowless window seat. So if that's what people want, they should ask for, I want a windowless window seat, not a window seat, because I didn't get a window seat. I got a wall. So I think, you know, that is something that I think airlines need to kind of be a little bit more aware of, because you can't have passengers trying to say, "Oh, I want a window seat," and then you got there and you're like, what in the world is this? Because there's no window, it's a wall. Like, what in the definition is a window seat when there's no window? You know, like, yeah, I don't know why, what's with my luck, but that's what I get. And then you know, while we were still like boarding and everything, there was like so many things going on. All these people on the phone talking to people. There were like people like talking so loudly. Most of them, I presume, are mainland Chinese, because that's what they sounded like. So I'm just making an educated guess that they are mainland Chinese because of their behaviors and how they speak and that sort of thing. And the shenanigans didn't stop there. But I'll get back to that a little bit later. Let's talk about the in-flight service. And the crew are a bit cold, I would say. A little bit uncaring. They don't seem to love their job. They don't seem to know customer service. They just do their bare minimum and then just call it a day. That's how I see it, right? Because when the drink service started, we got the drinks and everything, and I'll just tell you the drink options that they have: orange juice, water, coffee, green tea. That's the 4 options. Not the best I've seen. I mean, yeah, why can't you stock a bit more? I know it's a short flight, but man, it's only 4 options. Can't you stock a little bit more? I mean, give people a bit more options. I mean, you can check out a few of the other ones, replace it with some other options, maybe apple juice, maybe, I don't know, something else. Like, just give people a bit more variety, you know. Maybe a few more soft drink options. Oh, they have a Coke as well. That's another thing. Maybe, you know, they can stock something else like Sprite or, you know, whatever other soft drinks. There's not a lot of variety. 4, 5 options. I mean, there are other airlines that, you know, have done way more, like maybe double, triple that amount of variety. So there's no excuse. And then, right, so after the service, they came to collect the trash, right? They just skipped past our row. She didn't even bother to look at my row. She just zoop, go past it, and I was like, okay. So what am I supposed to do with the cup? So I left it there. And when they do the pre-landing checks, the crew came over and she was like, you, tray table up. And I was like, so what about my drink? So I have to hold my drink because she didn't take it. And then all of the crew did like maybe 3-4 rounds. They just like walk up and down. None of them have a good look at my row. And I'm still holding the cup. I'm like, what do you want me to do with the cup? Leave it on the seat? Like, you know, you are supposed to collect it when you collect the trash. Even when you're walking past, you are supposed to give a little bit more attention to each row. Make sure, you know, even like that crew who saw my tray table was down, she could have just asked, have you finished your drink? Can I take the cup? Easy thing, right? Customer service doesn't exist. And then at the very last check that one of the crew did, she looked at me a little bit longer, like maybe a second or 2 longer, and then I kind of got her attention, and I was able to give her the trash. Like, you know, just tiny things here and there. Like, it's so easy to like do, but they just do their minimum, so they are not really giving that exceptional service. Well, I'm not even expecting exceptional. I'm expecting good service, and they didn't deliver good service. And then that's kind of like the whole service side ended. That's fine. Now back to the shenanigans of the passengers. When we were approaching Phnom Penh, probably for the whole, not the whole, but maybe the majority of the approach, it was very bumpy. And then as we come into land, I felt 2 touchdowns, so that means we had a bounce. And that's not a big problem, but the problem is the passenger sitting on the other side of the cabin, on the right side, because I was on the left, he basically stood all the way up like this when the plane bounced, like, hello, seatbelts, where is the seatbelt? Did you buckle it? Did you tighten it? You are not supposed to be standing up with the seatbelt on and tightened, right? So what happened? Did the crew miss it? Or did the passenger take off the seatbelt after all the checks? Or did the passenger loosen the seatbelt? I don't know. But that's a problem. That's a safety issue. Because what if we skid off the runway because of who knows what happened, you know? anything can happen. If we are able to stand up that easily, and in an accident there's so much force, you'll probably get thrown across the cabin, and they'll injure another person or even a few people, and that's unacceptable. And again, that passenger, educated guess, is a mainland Chinese. So I don't know why, and the best thing that I can describe the whole thing is like a circus show, right? I've not encountered this kind of behavior over the how many dozen of airlines I've flown over the last couple of years. I have, even when I was young, when I was flying, before the whole YouTube thing, I've never ever seen this kind of behavior. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they are so uncultured. But the whole thing is just a mess, And then as soon as the seatbelt sign turned off, those mainland, or I assume mainland Chinese, got out of the seat, rushed to the front, and again, you are not going to go anywhere. You're not going to get off any faster, maybe a few people faster, maybe a minute faster. Is it going to make a big difference? No. So, why? Right? I mean, where are you rushing to? Like, you're not going to get off the plane by, walking a few rows in front. Like, you still have to wait with everyone else to get off the plane. Like, why, right? I mean, it's just so baffling. Like, I've not seen this kind of behaviors before. I mean, I have had an encounter with some mainland Chinese when I was flying with Fiji Airways a couple of years ago. That Chinese guy took my seat, so I have to take his seat. And after I settled down on my seat, he took his whole freaking leg and put it over to my side. Like, why? You have your seat in front, that's your space. Move your leg to the front, that's your space, keep it there. I have a limited space as well. When you put your whole freaking leg over to my end, where am I supposed to put my leg, right? Like, I don't know why these people are acting like that, Like, have they not flown before? Like, do they not know, have they not been taught about ethics? Have they not been taught about, like, just basic thinking? Like, what have they been taught? Like, I'm so curious, because that same thing, after we exited the aircraft, at the immigration line, another mainland Chinese guy just skipped the entire queue, walked all the way to the front, and he just went there, go to the immigration officer, and nothing was done, no one cared. Like, have you not seen the queue? Do you not care about there's a queue? Do you just care about yourself? Like, there's just so many things wrong about it. I'm honestly not a very big fan of mainland Chinese. Their behaviors especially, it's very off-putting. That's kind of not a secret. I just want to put it out there. I am not a big fan of them, right? And yeah, I have just never really seen this kind of a mess for such a long time. It's a combination of the passengers and the lackluster behaviors of the crew. and in combination, it's a circus show. I don't know what the second leg is going to be like. I hope it's not going to be this bad, but first impression of Sky Angkor, it's not good. Like, I'm not impressed. I mean, you know, they are maybe a bit better than like low-cost airlines in terms of they do serve you a drink, even though they only fill half a cup. Like, again, why are you saving money on half a cup of drink? Like, it's not going to cost you that much more just to fill it maybe like another third of the cup. I'm not expecting a full cup. Like, you know, most airlines, they fill it to the, maybe they might leave like that much of a gap on top, you know, just so you don't, you know, spill it. Like, some might feel like maybe that much more, or I mean like leave that much gap, but half a cup, like, that's insane, you know. Like, it literally, like, it took me like, what, like 2.5 mouthful, and the drink was gone. Like, I was barely hydrated, and yeah, I don't know why they are saving money on that, or whether it's just a crew thing, I don't know. But yeah, again, this every little thing just adding up, and the whole flight experience is just not really pleasant. But like I said, it's a little bit better than low-cost carrier in terms of they do give you drinks, but that's about as much as it's good for. I mean, okay, they also give you like 40 kilos of baggage allowance. Great. Low-cost airlines going to cost you an arm and a leg to have 40 kilos of luggage. That's great. But I mean, half a cup of drink, come on. That's a freaking joke. Like, you know, like, I don't know, like, there's just so many things like adding up, and like I said, it's just everything that adds together that piles up, and the experience just became very unpleasant. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's an okay airline. I'm glad it's not like a very long flight. So we will have to see how the second leg go, because if that's a consistent issue with the crew, and you know, adding on top of the passengers, I don't know, I will have to need to really think about it, because I mean, obviously the crew cannot control the passengers, so you know, that's a different aspect of how I need to rate an airline, right? I mean, it's not fair to rate an airline based on the passengers, but again, there are some things that the passenger did that I cannot confirm. Like, did the crew do their job? Like, that is something that I have to take into consideration, because if they didn't do their job, then it is a safety issue. So we will have to see how the second flight goes. I hope it's a lot better than this, like in terms of the service, in terms of just like the overall kind of like vibe of how the airline is, or the airline's employee is representing the brand. So when I fly back with Sky Angkor, I'll be able to give you a much more conclusive answer to that. Anyway, I think I'm gonna head out. So I'm gonna enjoy my few days here in Phnom Penh. If you want to check out my vlogs, yeah, subscribe to my channel and they will be coming very soon. And I'll see you at the airport in a couple of days when I fly Sky Angkor again, back to Bangkok. And then, yeah, we'll see what the experience is like on the way back.
Day 4.
Hey, good morning here from Phnom Penh, and this is part 2 of my flight with Sky Angkor, and today I'll be flying from Phnom Penh back to Bangkok. The last flight didn't leave me with a very good impression. Yeah, today we are going to fly back to Bangkok with Sky Angkor again and see, is it the same? Is it a bit better? Is it because the passengers and the crew that were having issues on that flight, or is this like a culture thing within the airline? And we are going to find out today. I don't know if you can tell, but it is very smoky and hazy outside. Well, not very, but I mean it is covered all across the sky. Yeah, it has been like this since yesterday because of the, I think it's the agriculture burning that's yeah, causing all the smoke covering Thailand and Cambodia. So Bangkok also have a very bad smoke issue right now. So flying from Phnom Penh to Bangkok, when I get there it's going to be like the same thing, but at least it's not going to be as hot over the next couple of days where this smoke is happening. But yeah, definitely not very good for the lungs, because they say it's the particles that are the issue. So they are just telling people to like limit outdoor activities and that sort of thing and wear a mask. So that's what I'm gonna do when I'm kind of outdoor. So yeah, that's the situation in Cambodia and in Thailand as well. I thought it would have been kind of resolved by this time, because yeah, it has been happening for quite a while, but yeah, it is still happening. So we just have to go with it, and luckily I don't really have a major health issue or asthma or that sort of thing, so I should be pretty okay. So yeah, I'm gonna get ready. My Grab driver is actually on the way. I did book it for in 35 minutes, but yeah, somehow the driver is on its way. So yeah, I'm gonna just finish packing up my things, and then I'll go down and grab some food to eat before heading to the airport. Alrighty, hello people. As you can see, I have made it inside the airport, and yeah, check-in was pretty quick, I would say. There was a couple of people in front of me, but wasn't too bad. For security, it was pretty quick as well. There was like a couple of people in front of me, and then for immigration, there was not really anyone queuing in front of me, but yeah, there was like people at the counter, so I have to wait for them. But yeah, overall the process was pretty quick. So my flight is at 12, and right now it's 10:30, so I have an hour and a half. But given what happened last time, I might expect them to start boarding pretty early. So I'll be heading, the gate is just over there, so I'll definitely be heading there at least like 45 minutes before departure. Just because they might be boarding pretty early. And that's pretty much the update for now. Coming into the airport, there were a couple of interesting scenes. As soon as I got dropped off and I was walking to the entrance, there was like two guys arguing with like either a tuk-tuk or taxi driver, and they were like trying to like get cash or something. Like they were going back and forth. Like I think the driver wanted more money or something, and the passenger didn't want to give them that much. So there was some arguing and a bit of a fighting going on there outside the airport. So it's a bit interesting. And then so I don't know, it's a bit weird. I mean, you know, when you're taking like tuk-tuks or taxis, you would probably have like negotiated a fare before you get here. So you know, like you agreed on the price. You don't get to the airport and then you're like, oh, I only want to pay this much, and they're like, no, you have to pay this much. Like then you create like a problem for yourself, because you know, like you are at the airport and you just want to get on your flight. You know, you don't want to be arguing with the tuk-tuk or taxi driver. So that's something to be mindful of, especially when you're traveling in like Southeast Asia. Same thing with like Bangkok. Like when I got to the train station and wanted to go to my hotel, it was like a 5-minute drive, and the taxi driver wanted to charge me like $15 for that ride, and I was like, no. I was like, I looked at the app, it was like $5, and he was like, no. I'll go down on my price and I'll charge you like $10. And I'm like, no, that's too much. Like, I'll pay like maybe, you know, for the convenience, that because he was already there, that I'll pay maybe like $7. And he was like, not having it. He didn't want to take me for $7. He was like, oh, it's like everything is so expensive, and you know, you have to wait for the Grab driver to come, and it takes a long time. And I was like, it's fine, I'll wait. Like I'll save like, you know, like $5-10. So you know, always like negotiate and make sure you agree on the price before you get on the taxi, because if you don't, they will definitely try to like rip you off, and you might eventually you just have to like pay for it, because I mean, you have already used their service and you didn't agree on the price. So it's literally up to them to kind of like open a price, and you just have to pay for it. So that's just like Southeast Asia. Like you just have to know the system here. That's how they do things. But I would recommend just taking like an app, like a Grab app. That's like the easiest thing, because like it has already shown you like the fare, like how much you have to pay up front. So it's like really transparent, and I mean, they can't like overcharge you or anything. So that's definitely, I would say the Grab app is definitely probably I would say the best thing if you want to be like coming to the airport or leaving the airport, you already know the price up front, like, or even if you're arriving at the baggage claim, you can go to the kiosk where they have like a kiosk for you to like pre-book a taxi, which I did, and it was a bit more expensive, but like you know the price up front because it tells you the price, and there's like no arguing, like you know the price. So yeah, that is something to be mindful. Never like get on the taxi or tuk-tuk without knowing the price. Like that's like the lesson. Unless you want to get ripped off, then that's fine. You can just jump on it and then let them tell you a price. Like if you are willing to pay for it, that's fine. But there are definitely a lot of drivers who would take advantage because you didn't ask the price. So yeah, that's just the way things are over here. So yeah, I'm gonna chill for a little bit and then head over to the gate in about half an hour time, maybe even less than that, maybe like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and then yeah, hopefully I don't miss the flight because they closed the gate so early when I was in Bangkok, so I should be okay. So right, okay, they give me like I told them like don't give me a 30A because last time they gave me 30A and there was like it's a freaking wall and it's not a window, so I was like, can you please not give me 30A? So they give me 25F, so I think that's okay. That should be a window. But yeah, the check-in lady was pretty nice, but there were I think a staff that was next to her, she wasn't that nice. Like, I could tell from her expression, like she wasn't like very friendly. But yeah, luckily the one that I went to, she was pretty friendly. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. Like yeah, some of the staff are nice, some are not so nice. So we'll see how the cabin crew is for this flight, because the one coming here, they were like very like meh. They were only doing like bare minimum. They were kind of like just not giving you the energy. So we'll just have to see how this one is going to go.
Morning, Mr. Onboard. Thank you.
Morning. Alrighty, welcome on board the Sky Angkor Airways A320. This is basically the same or very similar aircraft as the one that I've came here with. So I'm not going to really show you a lot of the hard products or anything like that. But I do want to highlight something a little bit different, is that the service of the crew is a bit different compared to the previous flight. The previous flight that I came here on, the crew were pretty cold in terms of their service attitude. But yeah, the crew on this flight has been very friendly, so I think we are off to a very good start. But as you can hear, there are people on board who are still talking on their phone, being very loud. So I think in terms of the passengers, that is still a bit of a problem. We'll have to see how the rest of the flight goes. But yeah, at least we have a good start with the crew who are being very friendly, very smiley, welcoming me on board. So yeah, we are off to a really good start for this flight, at least for the crew. So we are about 25 minutes from departure. So yeah, at least we are not boarding really early today. So we might be able to depart around the advertised departure time. Hopefully there's not going to be any delay or anything like that. But let's have a look at like the cleanliness, because I mean the turnaround time is so quick for this flight. A little bit of like a dirt, but I mean they weren't like serving any food or anything like that. But you can see there are some markings over here. So yeah, even on the wall, there are like some like coffee stains and that sort of thing. So they definitely are not really doing a lot of like deep cleaning for the aircraft. But I would have assumed they would have done that like overnight. Even if they are not doing it like at every turnaround, they should be cleaning, like the whole cabin, like up and down, left and right for like every day. So yeah, I think they are not really doing that based on what you can see over here. So yeah, cleanliness could improve a little bit, but at least I got a window this time, so we're going to get it's a better view. We have got a good wing view over here. So if the plane does do something crazy, at least I will be able to record it this time. Because yeah, the last flight was pretty crazy coming into land. It was so bumpy and we were like bouncing around during touchdown. But yeah, I couldn't record anything because I didn't have any window on my row. So hopefully it's not going to be as rough for this flight. Yeah, that flight was, I think, one of the worst that I've experienced for a long time. But yeah, we'll see how the rest of the flight goes. It's only a short flight, so we expect in terms of what we are getting will be the same as the last flight. Just a very small selection of like drink options and that sort of thing. So in terms of like of service wise, I don't think we are going to be getting much, but at least crew are friendly for this flight. So that it seems like the last flight was a bit of an odd one out, I suppose, or maybe just depends on the crew for the day. Some of them might be not as good as some other crew. So at least we know that it's not like a culture thing, which is the most important, because if every flights are the same, then we have a problem. But it doesn't seem like the case, so that's like at least a very good start. So yeah, we'll just wait for the rest of the passengers to board, and then we'll be heading off to Bangkok.
Today flight time will be 55 minutes later, and it will be nice. You require to fasten your seatbelt, straighten up your seatbelt, secure the table in front of you, and open the window blinds. This is an unsmoking flight, so the smoking sun will be illuminated during the whole flight. All electronic devices will be set in flight mode when the fasten seatbelt sign goes off. On behalf of Captain Penara and the entire crew, I wish you pleasant flight. Thank you. We will stand by for demonstration. នៅពេលភ្លើងសញ្ញាពាក់ខ្សែក្រវ៉ាត់សុវត្ថិភាពត្រូវបានបំភ្លឺលោកអ្នកត្រូវពាក់ខ្សែក្រវ៉ាត់សុវត្ថិភាពដើម្បីភ្ជាប់ខ្សែក្រវ៉ាត់សុវត្ថិភាពសូមធ្វើការសូមបន្ទះដៃចូលក្បាលខ្សែក្រវ៉ាត់រួចពីផ្នែកខាងចុងនៃខ្សែក្រវ៉ាត់ដើម្បីរឹតបន្តឹងដើម្បីដល់កលិកខ្សែក្រវ៉ាត់សូមលើកបន្ទះក៏លើកឡើងហើយទាញខ្សែក្រវ៉ាត់ចេញ Seatbelt. Your seatbelt must be
the drink service has just started not too long ago. I got a cup of, I think it's green tea. That's what they told me the last flight, so I'm assuming it is green tea. And like I say, so far the flight is pretty good. I mean, as you can see, I've got an empty middle seat, so it makes the flight a little bit more comfortable as well. But one thing I want to confirm is that there is no reclining on any of the seats. So I don't know if you can see, but the armrest, there's no button on the armrest. So you are not able to recline on any of the seats here, which is fine because I don't think they fly to a lot of faraway countries. I think probably the furthest one would be like China or South Korea. Those are probably the longest flight that they do. And those flights are probably like 2-3 hours at most, depending on which part of China they fly to. That's the only thing that you probably have to watch out for, is that there is no reclining. But in terms of the leg room, it is pretty good. As you can see, I can fit probably my entire hand in front. So leg room is pretty good. There's just no reclining. So if you can put up with that, then it's pretty good. And I bought this flight quite cheap as well, I would say, compared to other airlines like Thai or there's Bangkok Airways. They are both pretty expensive. The other option is like AirAsia, which I think it's not really that cheap either. I had a look, and for Sky Angkor you get like 40 kilos of checked luggage, and you get the drink service. So I mean, that's something you have to pay if you are flying AirAsia. And then for seat selection, I couldn't do it on the website, even though I think I saw that you can do that, but I didn't see the option to do it online. But during check-in, they do advertise that you can select a seat up front or on the exit row, but you do have to pay extra for that. I think the cheapest one is like $10, and I think those are like row 3 to row 5. And then there's like $20, and I think maybe that's like the row 2 and the exit row. I might be wrong, but definitely row 2. And then for row 1, you have to pay like $30. So I mean, it's a little bit expensive to pay that much for like row 1 or row 2. But definitely, if you want to like have like the front row, then you can pay like $10 extra, and you get like row 3, 4, or row 5, which is decent enough, I would say. But otherwise, if you don't mind sitting at the back, I mean, you get you can get it for free. You just tell them like what seat you want, and if they have it, then you can, then they'll assign you to the seat. Like I told them I want a window seat, and they gave me a window seat, and it is free. So no complaint over there. Other than that, I would say the flight is pretty smooth. There's not really that many shenanigans going on. It was a little bit bumpy coming out, but it was only like for a while. I mean, pretty smooth flight so far. So everything is going pretty good, I would say. Flight time is 55 minutes, I think. So, like I said, relatively short flight. So yeah, we should be arriving pretty close to our arrival time, I think, because we did depart a little bit late. We were waiting for like 1 or 2 flights to get in and out, so we were waiting for a little bit on the ground, but yeah, I think we should be able to get into Bangkok relatively close to our scheduled arrival time. So yeah, that's good. Anyway, I think that's all. If there's nothing too much to that develop between now and the landing, then yeah, I think my conclusion is that Sky Angkor Airways is still a fairly decent airline to fly. If you can get past, some of the crew being a bit unenthusiastic. I couldn't pronounce the word, but I'll put the word up there so you know which word that I'm referring to. And yeah, if you can get past with the some of the passengers being a bit rowdy, especially the mainlanders, they can get a little bit loud and a bit a bit uncultured, then yeah, I would say it's a pretty decent flight overall. If you can look past all those things, you get a generous baggage allowance, you get free drinks. So I mean, I think that's as good as you can expect for a flight. Other than that, it's all like extra, like the service. Those are extra. I mean, you expect it. You expect a good service attitude from the crew, but it is what it is, right? Alrighty, I'm going to enjoy my drink because they are collecting the drinks right now, and I haven't even drank my tea yet. So I'm gonna do that and walk a little bit before we touch down in Bangkok. So what's the overall verdict for Sky Angkor? I think there are a lot of room for improvement for the airline. Firstly, a leader in a team can set the tone for the rest of the team, which I believe is the reason the first flight had such a poor performance compared to the second. There are going to be a need for a standard level of service in order for the airline to showcase their service standard. As of right now, I can't really tell where they are heading, but at least it's not a company culture as far as it goes. The second, and I think the most important issue for this whole experience, is the lack of safety enforcement by the crew. While I understand that the crew has limited eyes to ensure compliance, especially if they have been seated, which I do not entirely blame them for the first flight incident, since I am not 100% sure who is at fault. But the second incident occurred for the return flight when the passenger walked to the lavatory right after landing, and that is something the crew can definitely take action on, and their lack of is rather alarming. Whether it may be because they have seen so many of this mainland tourist behavior that they have decided to just ignore it. However, I think regardless, they still have a responsibility to keep everyone on board safe, which they did fail to do so in that occasion. The drink service on board was lacking options, which is not ideal. They should be able to stock some more variety, which can add that extra premium feeling, even if they are not trying to pass off as a premium full-service carrier, which their hard products are indicative that they are not trying to be one. Although I do commend their luggage allowance, which does save a lot of money for budget-conscious travelers, and their pricing are not far off from the low-cost carrier, and they do price a lot lower than the legacy premium airlines like Thai Airways.